Hey, what's up? It's Real Talk with Ayydé. I have a very special guest with me today. I'm so excited to talk to her. Gonna talk her ear out. Reverie, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here. I'm gonna give everybody a little bit of backstory of how we met, okay? So you come into the neighborhood with your friend. What was your friend's name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. And you're just chilling in the back the whole time. And I feel like towards the end, you mentioned that you rap,
Yes.
No, we didn't ask too much about it. And honestly, I've never heard of you before.
Yeah.
No disrespect or anything like that, but I still kept that in the back of my head. So then I went home and I Googled you. And one of the first videos that came up was Give It Time.
Awesome.
And from there, girl, you had me hooked. You talked about loss, mental health, working hard, believing in yourself. You just talked about something that just hits so close to home to me. Yeah. And that was so refreshing to me because I feel like nowadays there's not a lot of new artists that are too interested in talking about these real things.
Yes.
But I do want to get back into that. But before that, take us back to the birth, I would say, of Reverie. How did you decide, you know what, this is what I want to do, and why did you decide to get there?
Me rapping was kind of an accident. It was just for fun at first. When I grew up here in Alena, in Highland Park.
Okay.
And in my neighborhood, when I was in high school, everyone would freestyle. It was just kind of part of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned how to freestyle, and I started recording music when I was a senior in high school. And I remember I dropped my first mixtape when I was 19. It was back in the MySpace days.
Yeah. Oh my God, top 8.
Yes. And then they had the play counter on the music box. You remember that?
I love having a music box. It was like my thing.
Right. Yeah. And I had a music page for my music. And you know what's so funny? My name came from my graffiti name. That was my graffiti name. I was a crazy tagger. I was bombing the trains, bombing the heavens, the freeways. I was getting arrested. It was crazy. It was just all I knew back then.
Were you climbing on bridges and stuff? Because I've always wondered, I see the most random places and I'm like, how the hell did they get up there, yo? How does one get up there? What was one of the craziest places that you feel like you got up on and you mobbed on?
For sure. Should I incriminate myself?
You're wait a minute.
It's been a long time. I think it's over the limit of the length.
Statute of limitations, or what is it? Limitations?
The statute of limitations, yeah. But I hit the overpass on the 110 North.
Oh, shit.
Coming from downtown to Pasadena? Do you know that
really
well? Okay, when you're going north and you just pass downtown and there's the Figueroa exit on the left. Do you know how there's that overpass up there?
No way.
I hit that twice.
How?
So it's the freeway, and then it's the LA River, and then it's the trash.
Right.
So if you have big balls, there's a pole that goes down like that onto where that thing is. But I couldn't do that. I was too scared.
Okay, so
I was too small. I couldn't reach the pole, and so I had to climb all the way like this with my body pressed against the thing over the trash.
Where are your cans? Are they hanging
on
through
my backpack?
Backpack?
On my backpack, and then over the LA River, and then over the freeway, and then onto the spot like this,
Hell no! Oh no! I'm getting anxiety just thinking about that.
I was so crazy.
Who would you go around with? Because I feel is that mainly a guy thing? All of my friends that were mobbers, we're all guys. Yeah. I have not one. I tried one to be a little tagger, but I quit. Yeah. Were you good at it?
I was really good. I know how to do some work with a spray can. Yeah, and in my neighborhood, my crew was called PUG. It's called PUG. I don't do it anymore. I don't. It's
retired.
Not worth
Okay.
It. Yeah, I don't tag
it's
anymore.
In the past.
Yeah, but my crew is called PUG, and we were the first all girl crew in my neighborhood.
Okay.
And after our girl crew
it was
started,
a bunch of you. You weren't the only girl.
Yeah, it was a mob, bunch of us. Yeah, and there was a bunch of girl crews that started after us. They were inspired by us.
Wow. So how did you come up with the name Reverie?
I was looking for a real name to start tagging before I made my crew because back when I first started tagging, I would just write toy names like Dreamer, Baby Girl.
Oh my God, no!
Yeah, those chola names. And then one day I realized like I wanted to really start piecing. You know, I wanted to like use a spray can without just scribbling, you know?
Okay.
And so I knew I wanted to make a cool name and one that not everyone was going to have. You know, like the same names you see on the walls every year. So
Little Puppet was already taken.
Yeah, exactly.
So typical.
Exactly. And so I was doing my homework. I was in AP English. Or I was in honors English because I think I was like 15. And I was doing my homework where you have to look up the definitions.
Okay.
And girl, you know me, I'm a writer.
Yes.
I love words. I love learning. And so I would get stuck doing that assignment for so long because I would just read the dictionary.
No way.
Like I wouldn't just look up one definition, you know, I'll be like, oh, you know, like, and one day when I was looking for the name, I was being patient. I saw the word Reverie. I said, Reverie, what is that? Daydream. Oh, that's really cool. I never heard that word before. It means daydream. Like, that's awesome. Anyways, that was it.
And you're still Reverie till now.
Yes, because when I started rapping, I didn't think it was going to be anything. And then back to the MySpace thing. When I first started releasing my music on MySpace, I used to put a black bar over my face. And nobody knew what I looked like for like 2 years of me releasing music.
That's really interesting. There's a few artists now that still kind of do the same thing, you know, that kind of just keep their image a little bit more hidden. Like her, I don't know if you heard of her. She literally, that's her name. Sorry, she's an R&B, and she likes to wear glasses for a long time. You know, Alena Baraz, another R&B girl, like she hid herself. Well, now she does, but for a very long time, like there wasn't really like pictures of her, or, like unless you went to one of her shows, you know. But there wasn't
I never
like
seen a picture for
she didn't really share herself like that. I guess they both have different but similar reasons, you know, like they didn't want people to know because they almost feel like they want to be known for their work, their voice, not what they look like.
Exactly.
What made you finally get out of that, out of taking that black box over your face?
I really was encouraged by my older brother to show my face. He has worked with advertisements and websites and the music industry for a long time, and I look up to him. He's doing really well. He just bought $1 million house. He's driving a Tesla. He has a company, SlayStudios.com. And it's awesome. And he advised me to stop hiding my face. He was like, if you want to take this serious, you got to show your face. Yeah. I was like, yeah, but I'm just all about the lyrics. I don't care about that. I'm doing it for the love. I don't know. It's okay. It doesn't matter. People respect me anyway. And then one day at the play counter, back to the play counter story. Wow.
This play counter had a lot to do in your life.
I know. So we dropped, me and Loudon, we recorded my first mixtape, and we dropped it. And in the first 24 hours, we accumulated 3,000 plays on my first mixtape. Wow. And that was the moment where I was like, oh, shit, we could really do something with this. Like, that's a lot of plays for like a little 19-year-old making a mixtape in my mom's house. You know what I mean? And so that was that. And then I said, my brother was like, my older brother, he was like, you got to show your face. Told me again. I was like, you're right. And that was it. That was it.
Wow.
It was that number. I needed to see more numbers than I was seeing. But I saw it.
You're like, all right, you guys deserve it. This is me. This is who I am.
Yes.
Speaking on your brothers, and you already mentioned Loudon, how is it that you guys even came together and figured this out? Because he's been A1 since day one. Mm-hmm. Is he literally like the only producer you mainly work with?
Yes.
And has that process been easier for you because he is your brother? Talk about it. Tell me.
I mean, it's like every family relationship, you know. We have a beautiful relationship. Sometimes shit gets crazy because it's just so much love and so much
different opinions at the same time too.
Yeah,
you know?
And it's like if you spend so much time with someone, eventually you're gonna bump heads sometimes, you know. But in general, me and my brother get along really well. We actually live together now in downtown. Okay. We just moved there, and we do so much stuff together. We put in hella work. Like I said, he recorded my first mixtape in my mom's house, in his closet, and I was standing on books to reach the mic that was hanging with the hanger cord around the hanger thing. That's how we recorded my first mixtape. Wow. And we didn't have a mic stand. Wow. And the mic was a $15 karaoke mic. And now that was in 2009. So this is 9 years later. Now we live in downtown. We got brand new cars. We're traveling the world. Fans are inspired everywhere. I have my clothing line. It's crazy. Like 10 years ago, like when I grew up, when I was in high school, me and my brothers got in a lot of trouble. My brothers were in and out of juvenile hall. We were all on meth, and my brother was on, Loudon was on heroin. It was bad, you know? Ooh. And so for us to transition to where we are now, it's really crazy. Looking back at it, I almost kind of like lose touch with it sometimes. I forget that really happened in my life, you know? It sounds like something so like crazy now, you know?
It's interesting to hear you say that you almost lose touch with it sometimes, because I feel like I still hear it in your music. I feel like you're very humble, you still keep it very real, and you still touch those moments in your life, you know, like also in Black Hearts. I think it is like Give It Time and Black Hearts for me, even though they're some of your older work. Like for me,
Black Hearts is
yeah. I mean, at least Give It Time is older. Black Hearts is more recent. But for me, those two tracks just resonate a lot because you're talking about a lot of real things, which you just mentioned, like the drug use, which is. I think that now more people are speaking up about it. Like, yeah, I had an issue with that. Yeah, I went through that. But I think it's so important that you speak about these things because, like you just said, meth, right? My youngest brother is going through that situation right now, being addicted on it. We have him in rehab right now. But, like, sometimes I think that a lot of people don't think about the other people that are involved, like the family. It's like... Yeah. You think about the person that's on it, but that person sometimes is so disconnected because they are on it that they don't think about how that's affecting their loved ones. And I'm not saying that it's about me necessarily, but like sometimes I just get frustrated on the pure fact that it's like, I don't want to let loose on my brother's grip, you know, because it's like, I can't leave you right now because I know that this isn't you. But at the same time, like I get frustrated. It's like, yo, like, what do? Like, I don't know how to deal with this. I've never done this. I don't have an addiction personally. So it's like, I'm trying to give you my best knowledge. I'm trying to love you. I'm trying to support you. But it's like, you're not listening, you know? So it's like, I do want to ask you, how did you leave that world? I'm assuming that you did. And what was it for you?
I still struggle with my own addiction problems, to be honest with you. Not meth.
Liquor?
At least. Just, I don't know, it changes every now and then. But
I think you mentioned that in one of your songs, like addiction rotation.
Oh, yeah, I do say that in Black Hearts. Yeah, I mean, it's something that I struggle with. It's something that I've struggled with since I was like 15, to be honest with you. Since I discovered it. When I discovered it, I was that.
How did you discover it? Did somebody offer it? Like, just randomly, or was it something you picked up on your own?
I had drank a couple times when I was a little bit younger and, like, smoked weed a couple times, but it wasn't so easily accessible to me when I was younger. But then when I got to be around, like, 15, 16, that's when I started really, like, kicking it, like, with the hood and ditching school and going to ditching parties and just doing all kinds of crazy things. And then all of a sudden it was everywhere, you know, and there was always a liquor store where you could buy the beer, you know. I couldn't buy the beer there, but my homie could buy the beer there because he looked a little older and the Mexican person didn't care, you know.
But isn't it so crazy, like, about the cycle of life? Like, in the hood, there's more liquor stores on every corner than, like, you know, all these people talk about, like, eating healthy. It's like, we don't got those options. You don't have eating healthy options in the hood, but you got a liquor store on every corner.
Yeah.
You got fast food places on every corner. Things that are accessible to you. It's like almost like they want us to stay in this vicious cycle, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy to me, but I personally appreciate you talking about all of these things. Why is that important to you to mention these subjects in your music?
I guess it's it's like a lot to do with me, and it is. I do like helping people with my music, and I realize that what I give to people really helps them. But when I write, if I'm writing a song like that, like Give It Time or Black Hearts, to be honest with you, I write like nobody's gonna hear it because I'm just letting out a lot. And if I write like someone's gonna hear it, I'm not gonna write it.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like it's like your personal diary or journal.
Yeah. And, you know, it just really just happened on accident, all this rap shit, because, like I said, I just recorded my first mixtape in the closet, and for years it was just a form of therapy for me.
Yeah.
You know, when I first recorded my first song.
What was your first song?
It was over this beat. I think it was like this song with Beyonce and Jay-Z called Upgrade You.
Okay. Okay.
I think
that is a song.
was like a long time ago. Like,
yeah.
And then, but that was my first song on a track, like, shared with people, because I used to record in the studio in Chino Hills when I first started recording. And the first time my homie took me over there, they wanted me to, like, try out. Because they didn't know me. They never heard my songs. Right. I didn't have anything to show. And I was like, please record me. You know, they're like, okay, well, who are you? What do you know? Like, and I laced my verse. And they were like, oh, shit. Yeah. Everyone was going crazy. And so that was the first time I recorded. But the first song of mine that I recorded, I don't really know. But even back then, my songs were very, like, deep. And they were very, like, introspective and like political. Like, even when I was a teenager, you know, I was always aware of these things that were going on, especially because, like I said, I was kicking it with the gang. My brothers were in and out of jail, so I was dealing with the system. My family and I were dealing with the system, so I understand the system from the inside, and I know that there's a lot that needs to change. But I don't know, I'm just going off on a tangent.
No, I think it's really important though, because like you said, like, you think that you're right, you're writing this for yourself, right? You go in the booth, you record this, now you're putting it out. But somebody else is listening to your words. At least I hope they are, because, like I said, it's refreshing to hear that. Because, like, if I'm listening to that as a 15-year-old, if I'm going through the same thing, now I think I can connect with you. Now I'm really listening to what else you're saying. So if you're talking about the president, you're talking about the social injustices in the hood, on the streets, the drugs going around, but you also talk about hope, about being able to get through that, about working hard, about believing in yourself. So it's like, that's important in comparison to, like, a lot of the other stuff that's getting out. And I'm not saying that you can't make, like, some other ratchet joint that has nothing to do with being deep, because there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
But those tracks are appreciated, where you think that you're just writing it for yourself, but you never know, like, that one mind that you are going to be able to spark by listening to it. Yeah. So what other were, like, your influences, whether they were either other artists or even other life influences that led you to become a rapper and where you're at now?
I would say growing up, the main people I listened to was like Tupac for sure, Bone Thugs, Murs, Atmosphere, Living Legends.
I'm gonna pause it right there. How crazy, and it's just how crazy life is when it comes back full circle. You opened up for Murs.
I did.
Did you ever imagine that was gonna happen? How does that happen?
You know, it's shout out to Murs, man. He has shown me so much love. Me and my brother, like, from day one. Yeah, he's a real one. Like, I met a lot of people that I used to admire in this industry. I'm sure you feel the same. And most of them, I won't say most of them, half of them I don't admire anymore. Murs is the number one exception. He's the shit. He's a really good person. He's a good businessman. He's a good artist. He is dope. I met him because I was a fan, and I wore his shirt in my first music video ever.
No way.
Oh my God. And then back to the fucking not showing my face. What'd you know about on that video? It was from my song Certified Fuck Up. That was my first music video. You'll laugh if you see it. And then I didn't show my face. Yeah, you have to look it up. You'll trip out. And my dad recorded it for me with his little fucking some shitty camera.
Back then,
yeah, probably
the home camcorder.
Yeah, probably. And he recorded me. My dad has always supported me so much. My God,
that's beautiful.
Yeah, but I told him, I made him put a filter over the video.
A filter before filters, almost.
Yes. And so you can't see my face for real. That's so funny.
So Murs was probably like,
oh, he's like, who is this girl? But somebody had showed him my video. And then he played a show in Seattle when I first moved there, because I was born and raised here in LA.
Yeah.
But we moved but I moved to Seattle when I was like 19, because Loudon was gonna get out of juvie, because he had done a year in juvie he got caught with like a 12-gauge shotgun.
Wow.
Yeah. And so he did a year in juvie, and then when he got out, my mom said, "Oh no, we gotta go. We gotta move far," because all my friends that moved, they moved to like Cudahy, Pomona.
That'll work. Right back. Compton, Carson, Long Beach, like
there was a bus right away.
Right.
So
train.
After years of dealing with this, my mom, she finally was like, yeah. I told her out because my brother was about to be 18, and I was like, yo, if we don't move, my brothers are gonna either die or go to prison now because they're gonna be 18. You know.
Yeah, you saw where they were going. Yeah. You could have ended up there too.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing the same shit. Yeah. I just didn't get caught. You know,
slick with it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how it all happened. And
did he reach out to you though?
Murs? Yeah. No. I actually went to. Oh, it was the MySpace days. Back in the MySpace days, I wrote him a comment on his page, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sad. I missed your show because I just moved to Seattle from LA." And he commented back on the page. Wow. He was like, "I actually have another show tomorrow at this venue. Maybe he sold out the first night. I forgot. I don't really know." And I was like, "Oh my God, cool! I'm gonna go." And so then I met him that night.
That's so crazy. He was
super dope. And then that was
it.
Man, that was 9 years ago too. Yeah, and then that fool put me on Pay Dues. Yes. I'm on his album.
Yes.
He's on my album. He shows me and my brother a lot of love, yeah.
That's amazing. I'm telling you, it's so crazy how things work. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like when they're meant to be, they're meant to be. Yeah. Now, speaking of how things work, you're getting out of the hood and going overseas. Actually, in Critique Like Me, you said you're hood famous overseas.
Yes.
And obviously, like, I follow you and I see when you're everywhere. Is this your first time being overseas?
No, that was actually my 14th European tour.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well then I'm super late and I don't know shit. But when you say that, like, it's so true because I see where you're at and I'm like, this girl is everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
How is that experience, like being able to get out of here and go somewhere else? And where do you most enjoy being?
It's amazing getting to leave. Honestly, I hate being home now for long. I want to leave all the time. It's so addicting. And
that's your new addiction.
Yes. See, my new addiction, yeah, the latest one is I'm back on my work grind.
Yeah.
I've been working like crazy. Like I said last night.
You were in the studio till 5 a.m.
Yes.
I said good morning to her. She's like, good night.
Yes.
I'll see you in a bit.
I was like, I'm there. And it's just amazing. When we first went out there, I had 5 dates. 5 dates when we went down out there. And now when I go out there, I stay there for a whole month.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's amazing. A lot of American artists go out there, and not a lot, but a few of them have told me, oh yeah. And it's never from anybody really big. It's like from people who are doing small crowds, you know. They're like, oh yeah, Europeans, they love Americans. Like, any American can just go play a show and they'll come. They love it. And I'm like, what? That's not my experience when I go there.
Right.
Because at my shows, everyone knows who I am.
Yeah.
They're singing the lyrics. They're screaming that my lyrics tattooed. They're wearing the Satori Mob merch. I swear to God, selling out shows. Like, for me, my fans really know me for me. You know, like, it's crazy.
I
get recognized in the streets, girl.
That's awesome. Do they like run up to you? Does that become scary sometimes?
That not over there. No? Over here, yeah.
Yeah,
Americans are crazy, man. Americans are scary. Scary Americans.
What's been one of your like...
That's because we have poison in the water, poison in the food, and poison in the air.
Poison everywhere.
Poison on the TV. That's why we're all fucked up.
What's been one of your favorite memories so far, a standout moment while you've been on tour?
A standout moment on tour. Oh man, a good or a bad?
Whatever you want to share.
You know what?
Give me a good and a bad one if you want.
Okay, a bad one. Oh man, you know what? I have to put this out there.
Put it out.
As a woman, there is some fucking nasty ass men who think they could just touch me, and I've been fucking.
Girl, that's everywhere.
Yeah,
so annoying.
My God,
what are you doing when that happens? Because I'm a fighter. You touch me, I'm gonna fuck you up.
I'm a fighter. I started a rumble in Indianapolis.
No way.
Yes, I was throwing bottles. Oh my God,
some
it was
guy just
crazy.
touched you.
Yeah, I was at the bar after I performed. Oh no, so this is a funny story. This is a funny one. I'll tell this one.
Okay, tell me the funny story.
Okay, so I was performing. Okay, this was like 3-4 years ago, and I used to tour, and I used to perform in sweats and a sweatshirt and a beanie and my Nikkis, because I thought that was hip hop, and that's why I would dress, you know, and that was cool. Like, that's cool too, and just not how I dress anymore for when I perform, but that's how I looked. I say that to say that I wasn't dressed sexy or provocative whatsoever. Okay. So in the middle of my set, I'm getting hot, so I take off my sweater. I have a graphic tee on, nothing sexy. And while I'm taking off my sweater, I hear this guy like, oh, yeah. And he's like right here by the stage, and I'm like, oh, my God. There's like 40 people in the room, so I could kind of hear him, you know? And then while I'm performing, I just keep hearing him say like, oh, yeah, baby. And I know. And I'm here like trying to perform and not be grossed out. I'm like staying away from that side of the stage.
You're like,
yes.
I want to hit you with this mic.
I wanted to. And then I was like, what a fucking weirdo. So I performed. And then everyone loves the show, blah, blah, blah. I go to the bathroom. This was before I required on my rider that I have a personal security guard at all times, which I have now because of these fucking crazy people. And I went to the bathroom, and then, I went to the bar. And I'm at the bar having a great conversation with the bartender. They're having a good time. And this group of people is going by me. And then someone grabs my ass. And I turn around, and you know.
Yes. Because that person gives you the look. Like, yes. I know it's you, but I'm going to have to hit you. Sorry, and if it's not you, too bad. You're too close to me.
I know. Or the other thing is that that when you turn around, it's probably not the person next to, it's the person before them because they're running and they want their homie to get in trouble. So I turn around and I look like all crazy. Like I was in sweats. I was like LA, you know? Yeah, and I was like, did you grab my ass? And it was a girl. And she said, no. And I was like, and she's like, it was him. And I was like, I knew it was him. Yeah, I know, right? But I walked into the guy right away and wasted no time. I was like, did you just fucking hit my ass? Did you just fucking touch my ass? He's like, what? No, I didn't touch your ass. I was like, boom! And I bitch slapped that fool so hard, like with all my might. And he went like, oh, he's like, what the fuck? I said I didn't touch you. I was like, yes, you did. I felt
it. Yes. And I know it. Yeah. She's my witness.
Yeah, right? Like your homegirl ratted you out. And then he's like, you know what? And if I did grab your ass, I didn't mean it. And I was like, oh, hell no. That shit got me even more mad. Boom! I slapped him on the other side of his face. Boom! And I was like, I'm about to get my brother. He's gonna fuck you up right now. Even though I already fucked him up, low key. And
but still get my brother on you.
Yes. And so I was like, where's Loudon? I'm storming the fucking venue looking for Loudon. And then they're like, he's in the bathroom. I'm like, bang, Loudon. I was like, this guy grabbed my ass right now. And he's like, who? Like, he just, like, turned all red. And
isn't that the good thing about having brothers? Like, yo, this used to be my car. Like, I'm going to get my brothers on you. Like, if I knew I couldn't take you, I'm going to get my brothers. Hold up. Let me get my brothers on you really quick. Not my little brother, because usually I had to protect my little brother. I'm like, you cool. No, I would get my older brothers, though.
Yeah,
like,
fuck yeah. Crazy, they got us. Yeah, so then Loudon comes out. Boom! Loudon checks and this falls on the floor. The security grabs Loudon and then my booking agent is like, oh my god, what the fuck? And then everyone's like rumbling. I fucking threw the bottle at the guy and it was fucking crazy. It was so crazy. And then we left. And
then it was over. And hopefully it doesn't happen too much anymore.
We were not in our hood, you know? Right. Like, what if those fools had a strap and we died in Indianapolis?
Yeah,
for some guy that grabbed my butt.
Yeah,
you know,
it's not worth it.
So we fucking left.
But it's still not okay.
It's not okay. Yeah, so that's a bad story.
It's a bad story,
but it's kind of funny.
What about a good one?
A good one is like I'll just say it. So this is another one that was like 4, maybe even 5 years ago. Damn, the time flies so fast. I used to book my own tours in the United States because nobody would book me, and I saw all these artists touring. And I was like, man, nobody's going to ever take me on tour. I have to do it myself. I just know it. I figured that out very early that you can't wait for people to do shit for you. You have to do it. So I was like, I'm going to do it. I have to do it. Like, how am I going to do this? So I literally spent like hours and days on Yelp. And I Yelped dance studios because back then I didn't know how many people were going to come to my show. I know maybe like 50 people would come, but I didn't know anything else, you know, so I couldn't afford to spend $1,000 on the venue if I'm not even gonna make that back in ticket sales, you know. So I had to just improv, and I would find I'll Yelp bars that let you perform, that let you charge at the door. Dance studios, I realized you could rent a dance studio for $25 an hour, and if I got it for 4 hours, is $100. And I knew I was gonna make $100 back at least. And then I had to rent the van. I had to do the routing. I had to book the artist. I had to buy my speakers. I had to have the equipment, everything. I organized the whole thing. And this was like long tours too. I think like maybe like 10, 15 dates at least. Like, and these all over like the states on like our side of the country, like the close states. And so it was a lot of work. And when we were on the way to Tucson, Arizona, I texted the woman of the dance studio that we were on the way. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just saying we're on the way. We'll be there soon. We're late. I was running late, okay? And I'm throwing the show, okay? So I get there. Oh, no, I'm on the way there, and she's not answering me. And it's
It's
now.
hip-hop time.
Yes, yeah. I'm like, oh, it's okay. Stay calm. It's going to be okay. She's going to be at the venue. I confirm with her, but it's booked. This is where everyone's going to go. And then it's like 2 hours, and she's still not. I'm blowing her up, emailing her, calling her. And then it's like 1 hour. I'm like, no, she's going to be at the venue. I know it. She's going to be there. She was not there. That shit was locked, and I was 1 hour late, and there was fans just standing outside the building, okay? Wow. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm 1 hour late, and now I can't even perform. What the fuck am I going to do? And I just felt bad, too, because, like, people came from, like, farther parts of Arizona to be there, too. And obviously, I wanted to perform for my fans, and I was like, what do? I had to improv. And so I was like, I'm just going to walk up and down the strip and find a venue that will let us take my show there. Way. Why won't they let us take the show? Because I'm going to bring a bunch of people that are going to buy beer. You know, it's perfect. I have my equipment. I have everything. They don't need to do anything. Just need the venue. Yes. So I start walking up and down Tucson, and nobody likes hip-hop there, okay? The people like it, but the bar owners don't like it. Okay. So they were I walked to like 6 or 7 bars. Please, can I do this? I have everything. I'll bring you customers with you. They'll all buy beer. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that sounds cool. What kind of music is it? Hip-hop. Oh, no, never mind. Like, and I got shot down. And after 6 or 7 places, I gave up. And I went back and I was like, oh my God, this is such a fail. What am I going to do? Tucson's going to hate me, you know? And then, what you know about when I get back, one of my homies was like, yo, Rev, you see that electric gate right there? I was like, yeah, why? He's like, there's a plug behind it that's plugged, that's powering the fence. And he's like, I think I could reach it and plug in your speakers right there. And I was like, what? The police station was literally 1 block away. And I was like, oh, shit. Fuck it, let's do it. You know, why not? Fuck this venue, you know? Damn. And so we fucking plugged in the shit, and we literally had a show outside in the dark in front of that dance studio.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and by the time...
Made it happen.
Yeah, and by the time we actually did it, I think, like, maybe half the people had left. Yeah. But there was still, like, I don't know, 20, 25 people there who saw us perform and steal the power, and they saw the whole story unfold. And it was, like, such a raw show, obviously. It was super raw. The cops were driving by. We're like, oh, my God, they're going to arrest us. They're going to realize we're stealing the power. They didn't even notice. Yeah. We looked like we were supposed to be there, you know? Man. So it was just, like, super raw hip-hop shit. Super, like, dope, broke, underground hip-hop shit. You know, like, that's one of my favorites.
Speaking of underground, obviously I feel like you're definitely more of the underground community, which I don't think that a lot of people realize is still very solid and going on. And for me, like, I appreciate it because that's, like, where I go to. Dope. To, you know, take a break from the current state of hip-hop. And I'm not shitting on it. Yeah. Because, again, I think that there's a time and place for everything. Yeah. And I don't want to be stuck in this box of, like, oh, I like hip-hop from the 80s and the 90s, because I think that that's a disadvantage or a disservice to everyone, you know? It's like, let everybody be whatever they want to be. Yeah. But what do you think about the current state of hip-hop?
I think the current state of hip-hop is amazing. I love hip-hop. I love what our generation is making. I love the music I'm making. I listen to a lot of new music, and for a while I didn't like it, but it was, like, probably around, like, I would say, like, 2012 to, like, maybe 2015, I just really didn't like the beats. They were way too poppy for me. Yeah. And now it's getting to, like, the trap shit. And the trap shit is pretty hard, you know? Like, people are spitting bars again, doing, like, dope melodies. Like, I like that shit. But that was, like, the only period of like, mainstream hip-hop that I didn't really like. The beats are just too pop. I don't like the hip-hop shit. And I know hip-hop is kind of like the pop music now, but it's different than it was, like, 5 years ago. But
who's on your playlist right now, like, of mainstream hip-hop?
Travis Scott. I love the new album. I love the
Astro
new
World.
album. Yes, it's really dope. I like the Casper song from Takeoff. I've been bumping that one. I've been bumping the 666 by YG. I always listen to Kendrick. Always listen to A$AP Rocky.
If you had
Nicki
the opportunity,
Minaj, I love her last album.
Did you really like Queen?
Yeah, I love her.
You're, like, one of the first people that I actually heard that reaction from.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That, like,
but I love Cardi B, too. I like both of them.
Oh, look, I'm not even trying to pin them against each other.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, they're like, but it's just like hard. Like, I like both of them. I respect
that's really
them
interesting
so much.
because a lot of people weren't too happy with Nikkis Queen album. For me personally, I don't know if she personally took away from her project because of all the animosity that she was with Cardi, with Travis. Like, it was just a lot going on around it.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I sat down and I listened, and when she dropped Big Bank with YG, or YG dropped Big Bank, and her verse came out, I loved her verse. I was like, yo, I was so hyped. I was like, I hope I hear more of this on Queen.
Yeah.
But on Queen, I mean, there's other tracks. I'm not saying that the whole entire album, but I think maybe a combination of her being so angry towards Cardi. I think that a lot of the topics were against other females, that those are the ones that spoke louder to me because she was speaking on it a lot. Mm-hmm. That I didn't. I was like, I think you're better than that. Like, you're hella dope, you're hella skilled, and you didn't need to do that. Like, everybody could have ate off of this table, and you just reduced yourself to being this bitter person that you didn't need to be, because you're great all on your own. You're a queen. You should have owned that. Like, you should have owned your album. You should have owned this time, and not given other people shine that weren't really shitting on you, to be honest. So
yeah,
I don't know. But
I think it's really hard. It's really hard being a woman in the industry, especially a rapper, because unfortunately, a lot of females are really catty in the game, you know, and that's just how it is. And I've been in the position on both sides of, from like their perspective. Like, I've been in the position of Nicki, like, feeling like somebody wasn't showing me the respect that I definitely deserve. But then I've also been on the other side where I feel like the person who came before me is not acknowledging me the way I should. And so I don't know who's right in this situation. I don't really care. That's between them. But I definitely see like how, like, just going to like talking about it. Sometimes you just gotta let it out. You know, like even the song I was making last night, I was talking hella shit because I was just been like, just on some fuck everybody shit, you know, like on just like, not fuck everybody, but just fuck everybody who's not gonna be respecting me the way I respect me and the way I respect other people, you know. So I think, but I'm glad you told me that though. I'm glad you said that to me, because that's something for me to think about, because when I do those things on the track, I'm not really thinking about that so much. I do think about it, obviously, but hearing that someone wouldn't like it because I was saying things like that, that's interesting perspective.
Because again, you know, like, I think that it's already hard enough being a woman, like you said, and especially I'm pretty sure that you've had your experiences as being a female, especially being a female MC, because I feel like you have to prove a lot more, because it's like you're not just a rapper, you're a female rapper. So everybody's always trying to question your skill set, you know? So I already get that. So it's like, why go against each other? There's so much more to eat, like so much more for both of you if you come together, you know. So it's just like, it's really frustrating, you know. But something about you, you know, and I'm pretty sure you, like you said, you've had your own two sides of that story, but I hear you working a lot with Gavilan. And how did you guys meet? She's also more underground. How did you guys come together? How's that story? Because you guys seem like you guys both get along very well.
Yeah, Gavilan, that's my homegirl. Shout out to Gavilan. I love that girl. We just got back from Europe. She was with me on the last tour. We done 3 European tours together there. Yeah. And I've done 14, and she's probably done like 20 by now. She's been out there a few more times than me. And we met a few years ago through the Cypher Effect. We did this Cypher with Cypher Effect, and it blew up. And then since then, we kept in contact. And over the years, we just kept networking and building together. We have a couple songs together. We have a couple videos together. And honestly, we kick it like homegirls. Like, we kick it when we're not even working.
That's awesome. Do you guys give each other advice?
Oh, yeah. Me and Gavilan, it's a really cool relationship because we have a really good friendship. We also have a really good business relationship and artist relationship. And we definitely are always brainstorming when we hang out. We're like, how can we do this better? How can we, you know, just brainstorming on how to make things better, basically. Yeah.
See, women showing women love and respect, building up.
Yes, I'm all about that. Yeah, I'm all about empowering women, and I'm just about empowering people. You know, like, you follow me. Everyone that follows me, they see that I show a lot of love to people because I'm not scared to show love to somebody. That's why I'm confident. Yeah, and I know that, like, look, you can have your fucking light, but if we all put our lights together, the room's gonna shine a lot brighter. You know? Yeah, and it's like, I'm not scared to share the light. I know how to shine it bright. I know my work now, and I think that anybody who doesn't want to share it is...
It's insecurities, man.
It really is that.
Yeah.
And I'll stay away from those people.
Definitely.
Now I don't fuck with that. If anybody doesn't I don't show love to people that don't show love to me, especially after I've shown them love. Yeah. You know, I understand, you know. We don't need to show love. It's cool. But I just understand the mutuality is not there as far as that goes, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I don't want to be wasting my time giving my appreciation and love and support to someone that doesn't want it. You know, I'm gonna give it to you. You know, I'm gonna give it. Yeah, or doesn't know how to return. I'm gonna give it to the people that do fuck with me. You know,
like that. Yeah. Let's get to your IG. I look at everything. Rapper, designer, survivor. Used to be suicidal daily. Now I want to live forever. Like that whole thing right there. Like there's so much going on there.
There's a lot going on there.
I'm gonna get into the designer part because we've already talked about being a rapper. We've talked a little bit about being a survivor, but we're going to get a little bit into that. I think it's so dope. Have your own brand, Satori. How did you come up with that? Like, obviously, I think it comes with, like, building, like, merch and whatnot, but, like, how did this whole thing come about?
I've been pressing shirts for a minute, like, since 2010, so it's been about 8 years now, and I've always wanted to develop a brand other than shirts that just say Reverie, like every rapper makes, you know, and I really love fashion, and it's something I've always been really interested in, and I always wanted to have a clothing line since I was younger. I just didn't think it was possible. You know, when I would get arrested for graffiti and I would be out in the streets with graffiti, my mom would be like, "You're so talented, Jordan. Why don't you just make a clothing line? Why don't you just do something productive with your art? Why do you have to do illegal things?" I'm like, "Mom, how am I gonna make a clothing line? What the fuck? That's impossible, you know?" But this
is possible. That's impossible.
Now it's funny. She's like, "Yeah, I told you, Jordan." I'm like, "I know you did. You were right, Mom. You were right." But
she's like, "Now give me one of them sweaters. Bring me a hat."
I know. Yeah, she loves it. She loves it. But I when I first started pressing shirts, somebody approached me and said, "Yo, you need to have merch. I'll press these for you. I'll pay for everything up front, and then I'll just give you the pay when it comes, et cetera, et cetera." And I was like, hell yeah, that's cool. I had no money back then. I had nothing, you know. I knew nothing about screen printing. I didn't know how to make a design. I didn't know anything. Hell yeah, let's do it. He did me a couple runs, or maybe 3 runs or something like that. And then I quickly realized that this fool was ripping me off hard, you know. And I did a show with him, and he ripped me off. And that's also why I started doing my own shows too, because I was getting ripped off by promoters. And I started doing it myself. I started saving up my money to print my own stuff and getting designs that I drew or that someone gave to me. And I didn't really love them back then, but it's all I had. So I just had to use them, you know. I had no budget for a designer, you know, and I have been wanting to develop a brand name for maybe 5 years already, okay? And it took me a long time, and I actually have gone through other potential company names, a few, but I never printed them. They were just in the works, but I never released them because it just didn't feel right. It just didn't connect, or the name was already taken, or whatever. And so, but I wanted to make a streetwear brand that was about the hustle and you know, everyone makes Get Money shirts and all that blah blah, which is cool. I like that stuff. I wear that stuff too. Don't get me wrong, but I realized one day I was like, you know what? I should make something more significant, like my music is, you know, or like my name is, you know. I'm gonna be wearing this. It really hit me that I was gonna be wearing this everywhere I went, and it was gonna be not only representing me, but also sending a message to whoever sees it. So,
what's the message?
The message is Satori. The message it means sudden enlightenment. It's a Japanese derived term, and it's a Buddhist term. And I'm not a Buddhist, and I don't push religion on anybody, but it's just a term that means sudden enlightenment. And the point of life is to be happy, to reach peace. You know, Catholics say when they die and then they go to heaven, it's the light. You know, the Buddhists want to reach enlightenment. You know, it's the light. All the religions have the light. The end of the tunnel is the light. That's the whole point of life. So being a mortal man, that's impossible. You can't reach that. You can only reach that when you die, you know? So, but the thing is that you can live in the moment. It's just for very brief moments, because it's really hard for us to do that because we're not trained to do that. So when you have that little tiny few seconds or few minutes of being in the present, that is called the Satori. It's a sudden enlightenment. So it's like a taste of the enlightenment.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
so
like
that's
that
what
a lot.
that means. Yeah, that's what that means to me, and that's what I wanted it to be, something that was gonna be really mentally stimulating and make people inspired, you know, in like more of a soulful way rather than like a money way, because a lot of people don't have money and a lot of people don't really want money.
And the people that have money aren't necessarily the happiest.
Exactly. So what I want to make people focus on internal health instead of money, because that helps you a lot more in life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The last word says survivor, followed by used to be suicidal daily, now I want to live forever. I want you to talk about that. Obviously, you are a survivor because you're here, but you're saying something deeper there that I don't think I know, and maybe for those that don't know, were you literally suicidal on the daily? Because that's extremely deep.
Yeah. I think like I guess it's kind of hard to talk about because it's different talking about it like
in your music
on a camera than on the music.
Yeah,
I'm a lot more comfortable with my music. But what I will say is that I've been dealing with depression like my whole life. Like I remember being a kid and just being hella sad for various things and getting dropped out of school crying and not wearing my seatbelt, hoping my mom would crash and I would die. Like shit like that. Yeah, like fucking just always putting myself in dangerous positions. And you know, like I said, when I was in high school, I was kicking it with the gang. So when you kick it with the gang, that means every day you might die, you know? And that's kind of something that I feel like I put myself in that position because I wanted to die. I did want to die. I wanted to die all the time, and I hated being alive, and I was just so lost in my own head because that's all I ever knew. And also, like, a lot of people in my family deal with depression, and I know a lot of people think it's genetic and some people think it's not, and I think it's a mix of genetics and what goes on in your family's history, because that's just how it works. Shit gets passed down through genes, and then the practices that we're gonna make are gonna influence the emotional genes too, and then the way we're raising each other. So it's like my whole family is full of people on antidepressants and who are like either on hella drugs and alcohol or recovery now, have to go to AA. So it's something that's really in my family's culture and in the genes probably. And
but you've managed to survive though.
I have.
How have you? Because I think that that's really important to somebody that possibly is going through that. A lot of people suffer with depression. I personally suffer with it. I've dealt with it for like 17 years now. So it's not an easy thing. I know it's not. But how have you personally managed to be that survivor? What pulls you through?
Honestly, it's been about a couple years now that I have been not feeling suicidal every day.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, and of course, not every day is like that, but in general, it's not like that anymore. And I really attribute it to me really just putting in the work to be happy. And it might sound stupid and simple, and I thought it was stupid and simple too when people would say it, but the thing is that everything in life takes work. So whatever you want to put your work into, that's what's going to succeed. If you want to put your work into your career's going to boom. If you want to put your work into looking good physically, you're going to look good physically. If you want to put your effort into making yourself happier, it's going to work. Right. It's going to take a few months. It's going to take a few years. It's going to take and commitment. But it's something that's very possible, and I can't believe the way it's like another thing, like how I said I almost feel disconnected from my past. In that way too, I feel disconnected sometimes because I used to like wish that I would like get cancer or like a disease and die, you know, like and like I said, I fucking gone to bed so fucked up thinking I was never gonna wake up, you know, and it was just lack of education on mental health. You know, they don't teach you about that in school.
They don't.
They teach you fucking chemistry. How many people use chemistry when you get older? The one person in the class, maybe, you know? Like, they need to teach us mental health. They need to teach us how
self-love.
to express yourself. Yes, self-love. Like, I read a lot of self-help books. I watch a lot of self-help videos. I listen to Deepak Chopra. Read The Power of Now.
Good.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, like, and
The Power of Now took me a few times to read it over to really understand like what they're saying about the power of now.
Yes.
But they're really, really, really good books. But
yes.
I'm glad.
Action, you know?
I'm glad that you speak about it and that you have arrived where you have arrived, because I definitely understand that. It's like I feel like a lot of people try to discredit the depression state of mind. They're like, oh, you're tripping, like that is nothing, but it's actually a really serious thing, especially like once you're in it, and especially like you said, fighting for me, I always say this, like every single day, like I fight for my happiness, like it's this, and for me personally, it stems from losing my mom. And it's like no matter how many years pass by, I always miss her. I always, a part of me almost feels like left with her, or like there's this void. And I try to explain that to like a friend of mine. He's like, stop saying the word void. I'm like, but that's what it is. It's like this empty feeling, and like sometimes I'm like, what am I even here for, and it sounds like fucked up to say that, but like I can't help but feeling that way, because I almost feel like a big part of me is lost. But it's like, again, it's getting up every day, fighting every single day to get up, to choose to smile, to choose to be okay, because otherwise, like, I could be in bed and don't want to get up. And so many people like go through that. Like that's why I try to practice it, of being kind to other people, because you really truly never know what somebody is going through. Like you could be that one person that pushes that person over the edge that one day, that might think like, oh, my life isn't worth living, but like life is beautiful. Like the mere fact that you were created is like a blessing. So it's like, and I think about it, it's like, well, how fucked up and vain would that be if I'm sitting here and I'm depressed or sad over my mom being gone, yet here I am taking the one thing that she gave me, which is life. So it's like, it's crazy. Another one, I'm gonna get away from this deep shit because I can go on forever.
That's some real shit though. I think it's important to talk about.
Definitely.
I think,
why do you cut your hair all the time?
I'm crazy, man.
And it grows back so fast. So what is your secret of growing it back? And you do all these weird, like, crazy designs. What is behind that?
I'm just such a fucking artist. Like, everything I do. You're
like, I'm an artist. Respect my craft.
Like, I try not to be, like, artsy, and it just happens. Like, even with my hair, I'm just like, honestly, when I cut it, I don't even think, like, oh, it's going to look artsy. I just want to do it. I'm just like, oh, I think I'm going to cut my hair today. I'm just gonna cut it, and I'll just cut it, and I don't really know when I do it. My mom was like, "Why do you cut your hair?"
Does she get mad at you?
No, but she's like, "Are you okay?"
Like, no, mom, I'm not okay, but I'm gonna be okay. Don't trip.
I'm okay now that I shave my head. Now.
I needed to know the story behind the shaving the head, but I'm glad now I know you're an artist. Like that's it. There you go.
I'm a really kind of like impulsive person with a lot of things, and my hair is just one of the many things that
it grows back at the end of the day. Well, at least yours does. I mean, I have like the most thinning hair. To put extensions in it to make it look a little bit fluffier.
Oh my God.
Full. Your current single Glass House is out now.
Yes.
I love the music video for it.
Thank you.
Do you go into creating all that? Like, is that all you, or who else helps you out with that?
A lot of it is. That video
it's your vision.
Yes. A lot of it is. That video was by Every Level Media.
Okay.
And
was that the one you were trying to get me in, or was it another one?
No, that was another one. I was like, damn. Oh, you know which one was the one I was trying to get you in? The one with me and Gavilan.
Oh,
it's called About It. You should check it out. Yeah. Yeah, but I do a lot of my music video directing. Okay. And all the beats that I've ever been on, I chose them.
Nice.
And I'm super in creative control what I'm doing. But yeah, I direct or co-direct like a lot of my music videos.
That's awesome. I love what you did with the visuals on that.
Thank you.
This is really dope.
Yeah.
And I love everything you wore. Everything. It was perfect.
Thank you.
What were you going to say you were dropping?
So I dropped a new single. It's called Me, You, Us.
Okay.
It's Loud and on the Beat.
Okay.
And
of course.
Yes, of course. We went to go do a photo shoot for the album art for the cover for like Spotify and stuff.
Okay.
And my outfit was just so cool, and I was like, "No, we need to make a video. I look fucking badass, okay?" I was
not
like,
wasting this.
Yes,
all of this get up.
Yes,
we put it somewhere.
So we started filming with my homegirl's she had a little dad cam, and then what you know about Encrypt? Just had my videographer. She just happened to be at a party, literally across the alley from where we were, and it was in downtown, and we were filming at this dress shop. And we saw them going in the party, and it was just so weird. Like, and then she called me. She's like, "Yo, what are you doing right there? Can we come? Because this party's whack." And I was like, "Yeah, come. We're just taking pictures and filming with the dad cam, but just come." She's like, "Oh my God, I have my camera too." Oh, it's a wrap. She came. She started filming. Everyone was taking pictures. There was like all these photographers and videographers there. So basically, why I'm saying all that is so when you see the video was an accident. It was an accident. And it is fucking dope. Okay. Everyone loves it.
And I gotta check it out as soon as I walk out of here.
Check it out. Me, you, us.
All right, I have to ask you this. If you could give your younger self a real piece of advice, what would that be?
I would say to... That's a deep one. I would say to only invest your time in relationships with people who reciprocate the same love and respect that you give them. And that goes for friendships, lovers, and family. Amen. That's probably one of the most important lessons I've ever learned in my life.
You can never get your time back.
So do not give someone more than they're going to give you. Ever, ever, ever.
So I want to thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed talking to you. I'm going to walk out of here and still bug you after this. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to everything that's coming up for you. What else, though, can your fans be looking forward to, though?
Lots of new music.
Okay.
Lots of new music is coming. Lots of new videos. Me and Lauden have been stacking up this whole year. That's why we haven't released much music this year. But now it's pumping out. The Glass House, Growing Pains, Glass House. Now we're going to do, and then Me, You, Us. And then the next one, it's not titled yet. So, but it's a music video we shot in Hawaii.
Wait for it. Let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me everywhere at Reverie Love. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. My website's reverielove.com. YouTube, you could just Google me. Yeah, we're with Real Talk. Ayydé, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll give you a big hug.